Welcome back to Built Not Born in Business podcast with Helen Butler, myself, and
Chris Butler, myself.
We've had such an inspiring conversation, haven't we, recently?
We've had loads of inspiring conversations.
We absolutely have. And I am loving this rebrand of the podcast, I've got to say.
It's so fitting, isn't it?
It is.
All the chats we've been having, it's sort of like perfectly aligned with the types of conversation, with the types of people and the enthusiasm and the excitement and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And so we decided that because we've interviewed so many amazing people, they've not all come out yet. We've had, I think, on our third or second.
Yeah, we've only released our...
Only
released our second one at this moment in time.
So we've got another
we've filmed
3 or 4
many more
that we've already recorded coming out in the next few weeks. We've got so many more booked in over the next few weeks and months. I mean, it's been the response has actually been overwhelming. It's really interesting, isn't it? Is when you ask, people are like, "Yeah, sure, let's make it happen." So,
Absolutely.
So what we decided to do there was like a reflection session, didn't we? So after each podcast, because there was so much, and I suppose because I do the editing of it, or the team does the editing, and then I get involved and sign it off.
Yeah.
I get to watch it so many times. There are things that sort of sink in and
At
stuff.
different
And
stages.
and I'll come back to you and I'll say, do you remember that when Andrew said that? And you'll say, oh yeah, and then we'll have a chat about it. So we wanted to do, after each guest episode, just a very quick, almost like just
Summary.
a reflection, of things that have been, that stood out to us, things that might have implemented, things we might change, or our take on those that we might not have got a chance to do during the podcast because it was all about interviewing the person and getting as much value from them as we possibly could. So this one's all about our reflection of the amazing and incredible. I don't know if this even needs a drum roll. This person's such a nice person, but the Andrew Hulbert.
Yes.
And I mean, there was some. We've known Andrew now for not that long, actually, only a few months, but we have learned so much from him. He's been so kind with his time, and
so open with. And so open and vulnerable with everything he's gone through and been so honest. And that's exactly the types of people that we've enjoyed speaking to and that's exactly why we started it 3 years ago, our own podcast, because we wanted people to be open and honest. And they've actually achieved, well, I like to call him the unicorn. So, yeah.
Yes, they are real. So there are 4, I mean, there's loads of things, but we've picked 4 topics or subjects that we've reflected on probably more intently than any others that he said.
We had to whittle it down to something, didn't we?
Right. So the first one, and I think it's quite fitting because this is what we do as a business, or one of our businesses too, Krakens, which is video.
Yeah.
And the power of video.
Yeah.
And I think he summed it up pretty early on by saying something along the lines of, you need to be doing video today. If you're not, this is my words, not his words, you're an idiot.
And he said,
"You're an idiot. I'm an idiot."
And like the Trolls movie, you will get left behind. No, they say no troll left behind.
But you will be. This is nice as me and you again. We could have a stupid laugh.
But it's true. Contextual things are so important, but so is video. Like, you can really express, like, if we were saying that, we would rub out no troll left behind. Don't be ridiculous, Helen.
Yeah, right, but it's in there now. It's done. It's in blood. It's finished.
And so, it just allows you to have a bit of character and it might allow you to remember things a little bit more as well. So
I think that this is what we say day in, day out to people, which right. The secret to this isn't video, it's long form video, because we speak to businesses time and time and time again, and they say, I know marketing is important, but I just don't have the time.
Yeah.
Right? And honestly, if I had £1 for every time I heard that, I'm sure I'd be bloody billionaire today. And this is why you need to embrace long form video in particular. And podcasting is a great way to do that, because you can sit down with somebody, film something for an hour, and you've got then your video for YouTube, which, oh my God, YouTube. Let me just start by saying this, actually. I'm going to get really excited now.
Yeah. This is a short podcast, remember. I
Sorry.
know you're very excited.
But you would have spent hundreds of thousands of pounds 20 years ago to get into somebody's lounge. That was the prime time. They're
Not
relaxed.
in a funny way. On the telly,
on the telly,
on somebody's
right?
lounge.
There was somebody in their relaxed environment. You could sell to them and advertise to them, and they felt relaxed. They didn't feel sold to.
Yeah.
And you would have paid hundreds of thousands of pounds for that. And yet today, you can do it for a few £100, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that is just because I mean, everybody's watching YouTube, and more people are watching it on their TV. So you've got the video from your podcast, you've got the audio, then you've got your social media clips. You clip it into short things for social media, for your LinkedIn, your Instagram, your TikTok, YouTube
Well, that's
Shorts.
the thing. You film one long format video, which you can then ultimately. I just love killing more.
You love killing birds.
I like to kill. Oh my God!
2 birds with 1
Perimenopause
stone.
Brain. 2 birds with 1 stone, Jesus. And so that is ultimately what you can. You can come and film for 40 minutes and you've got so many clips.
Oh, honestly.
Winner.
Winner chicken dinner. We just put this into perspective for the Built Not Born podcast. We've really embraced this on this season. Just to kind of, because people are saying, well, I don't, right, okay, well, I'm going to show you. You don't believe me, I'm showing you. So we advertise, we put a guest there every 2 weeks, which that might change that format a little bit. But right now we're doing every 2 weeks and we are fully advertising that guest a week before.
With short clips.
And then a week after. So they get 2 weeks. And that is 2 to 3 clips a day that are going out on social media.
Yeah, potentially a photo as well.
Photos. That is the video. We do lead gen workbooks off the back of it.
They're really fantastic.
Blog posts. We do carousels. And that fills up our Built Not Born socials for 2 weeks. And because we do them every 2 weeks, they are then jam-packed. That marketing is jam-packed. And then we also are able to use it on some of our other businesses as well. So if there's a really interesting clip, we'll put it on our personal LinkedIn's or it might be on the Two Krakens LinkedIn. That is the power of long-form video. And podcast is one of the simplest ways to do amen. Yeah, kind of get it. Hallelujah.
Well, we're all short of time, aren't we? We haven't got time to think like completely out of the box. And I think we're realising now, aren't we, in the world that we're living in, like you need to just sometimes give things to somebody that really knows what they're doing. And it's hard to find good staff. And so just accepting that, you know, you were doing certain things with the accounting yourself for so long. And then when you hand it over, it's like, Jesus, why didn't we do this sooner? It's done properly. It's done quickly. It's efficient. If it's not right, you know, you just go back. It's straight away off your plate. So having someone do it professionally, I mean, there is another caveat with doing the video. Don't show complete shit. You know, like, of course, anyone can do a podcast or film it in their bedroom, but, and there is a time and a place, you know.
Well, not podcasts now. I mean,
I do think that you're going to attract that sort of tribe. And, you know, I do think there is that to massively consider, like, where you're going to do it. And it's nice to be able to come out of where you are day to day, come somewhere serious not serious, but somewhere specifically to come and film it. I feel like you would be a bit more, like, mentally prepared for it as well, because you're physically going there, you've invested in it, and you know what you want out of it. So
this isn't a plug to use our studios, although you should use our studios. But what Helen's getting at here is that don't try and do it yourself, because we've spoke to lots of people that have done a podcast and they've stopped it because they take forever to do the editing. It's honestly the filming bit is the quick and easy bit, and actually that's the bit you're great at, because you're talking about something you're passionate about and knowledgeable about. Then hand the other bit over to somebody else, and it's always easier if it's in a studio. It's the sound trick. There's just so many benefits for a studio. So for the couple £100 extra it's going to cost you, and in actual fact, actually, if you invest in half decent kit anyway, it's probably going to save you money to use a studio than it is to buy the kit.
Because it's not cheap for the good stuff.
The point here is invest in long form video. It is your marketing golden nuggets.
Yeah, kill all those birds.
Kill all the birds with just a single stone, a little teeny weeny stone.
Right, next point.
Next point.
We could go on all day.
We could. One of the things that he spoke about that was really interesting, and we haven't done it yet, but I think we will look at implementing it, which was hire the person, not the CV.
Yes.
And he spoke about culture and all that sort of, and we've had lots of conversations actually off camera about culture, about, you know, whatever your culture is, just go with it. If you're a dickhead, be a dickhead, that's fine. Own it, go with it, that's your culture. You'll attract dickheads, that's fine.
Yeah.
But the point that really resonated with me was about this get to know a human. Like, I think he said he doesn't even look at CVs really, other than like an initial, they're qualified. Right, that goes in the bin now. I want to sit and meet you. And he spoke about going to, I can't remember if this was on the podcast or
just a conversation
outside a conversation, because I've had so many, but about taking somebody for a burger.
Yeah,
One of his first hires or senior hires at Pareto was we went for a burger somewhere and just had a chat and got to know each other.
Yeah, because on the podcast, I think he did say, I don't know, go swimming. I was like, geez, I would not be hired.
No one wants to see this swimming body.
I'd have to say, sorry, rain check. I don't want to watch that.
No.
But
Get the whale! Get the whale!
You or me?
That me? I don't dare say you.
But yeah, the point being, take them somewhere else. You know, it's nerve-wracking going for an interview. And whilst it is nice to see the environment, of course, that could be the second interview if they got past that. But I think you would be more inclined to see the real them, the more authenticity.
Yes, I think they're more likely to drop their guard as well, because it feels like, well, I'm not on show now. Because let's face it, when you go for an interview, you're on your best bloody behaviour.
Yeah.
We've all heard the questions. Tell me a time when you had to deal with a difficult customer. We've all rehearsed these, and even if they haven't happened, we've got something in our head ready to go, right? We're lying and we're talking about it.
Yeah. And so, that would probably flow out a little bit, and you just be yourself
They'll
more.
drop the guard, and those things, those acts they're putting on, you might start to see through it a little bit and be like, well, actually... Oh.
The thing is, though, you want it to work for both parties. You don't want someone to be putting on a front to get the job, because then are they going to be happy?
Yeah.
You want them to be as happy in the role as you know, it needs to work for everybody, and I think that's something that's really important, because... You know, you don't necessarily live to work. We want our team to be happy, so you wouldn't want them to not be their self. Speaking of that, actually, we held an interview earlier this week. You weren't in, and I haven't even spoke about it much to you at all.
It's been that bloody crazy.
We had somebody come in who we have actually taken on, and she came in a cap because she was a young girl.
Okay.
And
we haven't spoken about this.
No, we haven't. No. And
hold on. Where's the peak at the front, side or back?
Yeah. At the front, classic. But she looked brilliant. She looked fantastic. And I said to the girls, I said, my God, I would never even dream of going to an interview in a cap. But she rocked it. She looked great. She presented herself really well. All the communication had been spot on. And I just thought, fair play. You know, that's what the kids are wearing. And I've just got to get with it. So, yeah, that's what I mean. I think it's nice to be your true self.
You have to be really careful though. I mean, it's a different generation now, but years ago I went for a job at a recruitment company. I won't say the company because I hated recruitment. It didn't last there very long. Personal choice. Anyway, and I'd always gone for my interviews in a suit and a tie. And I thought, this interview, do you know what? I'm going to go in just a suit, shirt, undone without a tie. And we had the interview, and we seemed to get on really well. Well, he offered me the job, so it must have gone okay. And at the end, the man said to me, "Why didn't you wear a tie?" We got on quite well. It'd been quite an open conversation, quite relaxed. And then he said, "Why didn't you wear a tie?" Quite sternly. And I said to him, "Well, I just wanted to stand out. I don't like wearing ties. I want you to be different." And I should imagine every other person that's walked through this door has had a tie on. And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "So," and it's a point of conversation now. I hope you don't take that as a negative, because if you want me to come into work wearing a tie, I'll wear a tie. I just don't necessarily like wearing ties. And so I did get the job. I think back then it was a slightly different thing. People are more casual in their attire now.
Completely different now.
This was like 20 years
back
ago.
In the olden days.
Back when I was a young lad. World War II. But yeah, I think you do have to be careful what you're wearing. But I think the point is that I think we're going to go and take this away. And how can we relook at our interview process to get to know the people more? Yeah. I mean, we do practicals anyway, don't we? We ask people to do the job as part of the interview.
And we did this time, and I did find that really helpful.
We've done that for a while.
You know, you need your attention to detail, and you need to see where people have got, you know, strong points and weaker points. And, you know, like you say, you're just going to lie in the interview and say, no, I'm fantastic at everything. But that's another thing. When you're open and honest and say, no, I'm not very good at this, which, again, the last recruits did say their downfalls. And it's like, I respect that. That's fine. Just be honest, because no one is perfect.
Exactly.
So you know,
be
just own it.
Be perfectly imperfect.
Yes.
That's from last week's podcast. Yeah. With Artie, so that's coming out soon. But I think we are definitely going to review our interview process for sure and find out how we can get to know people on more of a personal level outside of what work's about. Whether that is a total restructure or another phase, I don't know. But that was really interesting to me. And I thought that's a really good way to get to know a person.
And his top table team stayed there for years and years and years.
Oh, the seniors. Well, they're still there.
Like,
I think I don't think he lost one senior person.
Yeah.
It was 16 or 17 in the senior leadership
team. Speaks volumes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely speaks volumes.
So that was really interesting. The other one, which kind of links quite closely to that, is, and I don't know a lot about this, so I'm not an expert in any means, and you'll have to get all your own financial information and advice, but this sweet equity pot. Right, in essence, this was about him saying to the senior team, look, at some point, I'm going to sell, and we're going to sell for a lot of money. Don't know what that's going to be, but I want you all to share in that success.
Yeah.
And I think that is really important. I mean, you would love to do it for everybody in an organization, and I'm not saying that you can't. I think that there has to be a line drawn somewhere, and I think if somebody is to get equity and receive a payout when that sale does happen, they have to play a fundamental part in the growth and getting that business to where it is. And I'm not saying that
or it's
everybody
reflective
does
on
that.
the percentage and how long they've been there, blah blah blah.
But I think that we all, when we employ managers and senior teams, we expect more of them because they're paid more. This is the nature of the role, and so there's an expectation. So I am all for sharing that pie, right? I mean,
you've said that for many years anyway, and I think it's just interesting that it seems to be spoken by a couple more people that we're speaking to recently. So it's something that's coming up a little bit more. That's coming back on the radar. Well, not back on the radar, but a bit more seriously on the radar, isn't it? Than more conversations.
I think if I'm being honest, I think I would have done this probably 10 years ago.
I know.
And you were a bit sceptical about it, for being honest. And I understand. No, we've not held it back. It was just sceptical, different points of view, and this is why I think we work quite well together, because we do bring different perspectives to things, and we decided if we're not both on the same page with something that major, we'll kind of just steer away from it and we'll park it and come back to it.
Because I get told off for changing my opinion, don't I, Christopher?
This isn't okay. This is no more a counselling session podcast, Helen. This is a serious business podcast. So we park it or we leave it and come back to it or whatever it is. And I think this is something we do need to revisit, because
I know, I do
we are
agree.
going to, because we mentioned it in the last team meeting, that the people that help us get to where we want to get to, there will be.
I agree.
Now, what that looks like, I don't yet know, and there's still some work to do on that. And we're speaking to professionals, and that's why I'm not giving any financial advice or anything like that, or saying what is best to do or not to do, because I don't know. But I think the point to it is that if you can find a way to reward the people that are
part of the journey
in a major way, then they should be rewarded for that, and I mean beyond a salary.
Yeah, I think that's great. Like John Lewis. No, is it John Lewis? Waitrose do it.
Yeah, sort of same group. Yeah. Well, Talbot's Law. I think they are all employee led.
Yeah. No, I think it's definitely something that is a nice way for businesses to involve their teams more.
Well, and also it's a great way to get them involved in, like, well, actually, I know you're asking me to do this extra thing, and I know it's going to take me a few hours extra, and I know it's going to put me under an extra additional pressure, and I know that means might not be able to go out with my friends on a Saturday night or Friday night or something because I've got this bit of work, but I'm going to do it because, and so there's that extra buy-in of a person as well.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I've been in other business meetings and they're saying, look, this is what we're projecting, this is where we are, and you can see it just going over certain people's heads. Yeah. So it's like, if you are actually genuinely invested in it, which obviously can be financial a lot of the time, then maybe that helps with getting people a bit more engaged and seeing that bigger picture and the journey, the longevity of it all.
Absolutely. And if we're being honest, most business owners at some point, they're doing it because they want to create wealth for themselves and their family and the team. And there's other things as well. I'm not saying there isn't, but it's actually funnily interesting. I haven't even told you this.
Oh, God.
I've had 3 letters this week from different individuals asking to have a discussion about buying Thread-a-Pixel.
Oh,
so that's a conversation for off
How
the podcast.
How much we talking?
Where are them stones? Kill birds. Yeah.
Okay.
But, and then I think the last one that really resonated with me, and it's kind of led on to some kind of like a personal mission for me, actually, which he spoke about prior to the podcast anyway, which was this. He said that he sat down with a coach of some sort. Forgive me, I can't remember what their actual title was. And he described it as, I need you to tell me what your island's going to look like. So the metaphor was, the island was after the sale. So I think Andrew had already started discussions in selling, and that process had started, or he knew he was wanting to sell in the next few years. And so he sat down with a professional, and their thing was, you've spent so long swimming. You've been climbing those mountains or swimming those waves
to the island,
going and going. You've been so focused on the swim and just getting a little bit closer and a little bit closer and a little bit closer that you've never stopped to think what the island is, what that looks like. So, and what we mean by that is after the exit, after the sale, once you've been handed your load of cash and you've stepped away, what's next? What does that look like for you? Is that starting something different? Is that taking some time out? Is that reconnecting with family and friends?
Yeah.
Is that mental? What is it? It doesn't have to be any of those. It can be all of them. It can be anything different. But what is it? And that was really powerful for me because I think sometimes we forget the reasons why we are doing something for.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what we've heard from quite a lot of different successful people as well is you often think, I'll be happy when.
Yes.
I'll be happy when. I'll be happy when. And I find that really resonating because, everybody lives like that. When I'll be happy when I'm thinner. I'll be happy when I'm fitter. I'll be happy when I'm married, and then you get there. And then you're searching for the next thing, which is good to have goals. But that's what we were like in business when we first started. I want to get to this turnover. I want to get to this. I want this client. I want this.
We never
I want to work in
celebrated.
this way. And something that we really discussed was that I didn't feel like we were celebrating any of those wins enough. And so that's something that we've taken on board. Although we said we would go out for dinner and have champagne when something happened 3 weeks ago, and we still haven't been.
To be fair, I mean, here we go. I'm getting called out live on camera here. To be fair, this is back to the old days of Mr. and Mrs. Isn't it? To be fair, though, our son was ill for a week.
Yeah,
and we've been non-bloody stop.
But there were 2 weeks before he was ill.
We've been back to back with stuff, so it will happen.
No, I know.
It will happen.
I know. But yeah, I think it's really important to have those wins. But I digress. I think it's very similar in the fact of so being a highly successful business person and then exiting. I think it's very similar to professional sports people as well. Mm-hmm. So you have to live a life that is just laser focused on that purpose. And unfortunately, those friends, family, social life has to step to the side. And so, when you get there, you've got to rebuild that. Yeah. And that's huge. And what is your purpose? What's the meaning? What do you want? Can you salvage those relationships? What, there's a lot to rebuild, isn't there?
There is. And I think that it's really important just to, if you take nothing else from this podcast, this episode, is just to step back for a minute, just stop for just 5 minutes and just refocus. What am I doing it for? What is that? Yeah. Forget the day to day. Let's look at what I want. What do I want in 5 years, 10 years, 15, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
What's it all for? Just remind yourself. And I think this has led to me, or for me personally, like a personal journey of almost like the Pursuit of Happiness, the movie. And I
love that movie.
And but happiness is so important. And yet, how do you define happiness? Is there a single definition for happiness? Is it individual to each person? Is there a common thread of what happiness looks like? And I feel like in today's world, more so than any other, we're just going through the motions of whatever it is, whether you work for yourself, whether you work for somebody else, whether you're a stay-at-home mom, no matter whether you're studying, whether you're at school, no matter what it is, you're just going through the motions, getting through the day, getting through the week. Great, another day, another week done. Get ready for next week or get ready for tomorrow. And I think it's really important that we start to reprioritize happiness and doing the things that make us happy, not at the expense of others, obviously, but just the things that make us happy. And so,
but that's it. It's not at the expense of others, but putting yourself. Remembering to put yourself in a position where you don't forget yourself either. You are. If I remember when we were bringing up Parker and they said happy baby, happy mum, happy baby, because I was really struggling at the start with breastfeeding, and then finally it just clicked and it was like, look, if you're not happy, you can't look after your child. And so, if you don't look after yourself, you can't look after anybody else. So, don't forget to look after yourself. You don't need to be in a completely selfish way, but don't forget about yourself as well. I think happiness changes as well as you get older. I think when you're in secondary school and at college, the things that you think are going to make you happy then, you couldn't give a damn about now. I think gratitude diaries are a great one. So many people swear by those because they're the things that you put down that are making you happy and that you're grateful for. Like our son being ill last week, I was saying to the team, I literally felt like I'd won the lottery yesterday when he got out of bed and felt a lot better. I really, really felt like I'd won the lottery. And if he hadn't have felt better for another few days, nothing else matters.
Yeah.
I was still trying to work, but I wasn't fully focused. And so, often the things that truly make you happy you can sometimes
They're already
absolutely take for granted.
Yeah, I think a lot of times they're already there. You just have to, this is again for just stopping and reviewing for a minute. So I think the thing to take away from that point for us is stop, have a think about what the future looks like. What do you want from it? And try and find some small wins. Try and focus on your own happiness.
List 3 things that you're grateful for and list 3 things that you feel like you want that are going to make you happy. Guess what? They might be the same thing.
Well,
you might already have them.
I think that one of the things that Andrew says a lot is that he would give up all the money just to spend more time with family. And I see that. I think there's an argument for that and an argument against that. But I think the point is that even when you've got all that money, there's only 3 things really that we all desperately desire ultimately, which is money, health, and love. And most of the time we're fortunate to have love to some degree. Most of the time we're fortunate to have health to some degree. And most of the time we're fortunate to have wealth. And what I mean by wealth is I've got enough. I might not be able to buy the best car in the world or go on the fanciest holiday in the world or buy a designer handbag, but I've got enough to keep a roof over my head, to put food on the table, to go on maybe a family trip now and again. I mean, yeah. So this is turning into something different than it was meant to be, but
we could go.
I'm on a personal pursuit this year of trying to figure out what happiness is.
And very, very
is there a way we can bottle it up somehow? But yeah.
No, that's great. We could go on, couldn't we? But we'll keep it for
short and sweet.
Our coffee and tea in the morning at home, off camera.
So I think the next one that's coming out is for Kim Antonio, who is a wonderful lady. She's built 2 businesses, tech businesses, for good. Really interesting story about how both of those businesses started.
Yeah.
So we can't wait to share that episode out. Share that episode, which I think comes out in a week or 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the key takeaways today are long form video. If you're not doing them, figure out a way to do them. Review your hiring process. Is looking at a CV the best way to hire somebody, or should you be actually getting to them on a personal level? Find a way, if possible, to reward people that are having massive impact or massive players within the business. And find things that make you happy. Don't forget about your happiness. Really important.
Love it.
So until next time, we'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.